What's up, guys? Trail here, better known as Budget Bill, and this is your second stimulus check update and stimulus package update for Friday, September the 25th. I hope you guys and gals are having a beautiful Friday morning around the world. Today, I have the best stimulus news thus far to share with you, so be sure to stay until the end. Today, we want to talk about the restart of the negotiations on the second stimulus package, as well as the status of the $1,200 big fat stimulus check, and the final vote to prevent the government shutdown, as well as we want to know what Jerome Powell had to say about the stimulus package. But before we get started, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button if you think Congress should get off their ass and send you your stimulus checks. On Thursday, Steve Mnuchin announced that him and Nancy Pelosi have agreed to restart the negotiations on the second stimulus package. Obviously, these are the negotiations we have all been waiting patiently for that involves the Democrats, Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer, and the White House Republicans, Steve Mnuchin and Mark Meadows. They have now agreed to restart the talks on the second stimulus bill that would include a second round of stimulus checks. Just this week, it appeared that Congress has switched gears from the stimulus package and moved it towards the replacement of the Supreme Court Justice. This week alone has caused more people to finally just give up on Congress, as it appeared that they do not care about the millions of Americans that are struggling right now. But yesterday, that all changed. Mnuchin and Pelosi are finally ready to get back to work and get a stimulus relief bill to help the American people. In addition, Bloomberg is reporting that the Democrats are working on a new $2.4 trillion stimulus bill to jumpstart the negotiation talks. This bill will be aimed to be bipartisan and will include the requested items from both sides of the aisle. The Democrats are hoping this bill can be voted on and passed by the House by next week. Now, while this package is much smaller than the $3.4 trillion package, it will still remain larger than what the Senate Republicans introduced earlier this month as the skinny bill. Considering President Trump has already indicated that he is willing to go as high as $1.5 trillion. There will definitely be some negotiations from both sides in order to get the additional $700 billion or meet somewhere in the middle. Now, this new stimulus bill will include a bailout for the U.S. airline industry to avert massive job losses. The airlines have been pushing Congress for months to back a new $25 billion bailout and extend payroll assistance to prevent passenger airline layoffs for another 6 months. The government offered funding for the airline industry as part of the CARES Act back in March, which placed restrictions on any further layoffs prior to September the 30th. And now, as those restrictions are about to expire, the urgency to get this bill passed by the House and the Senate is crucial, as airline job losses could increase the unemployment rate and ultimately bad for our economy. And there may also be more funding aid for small businesses and a bailout for the restaurant industry. Now, both Pelosi and Mnuchin offered no timeline of when the negotiations will actually resume. However, knowing the severity of our economy, they will probably be working rather quickly on this. So this could be it, guys. I have been saying this for the longest on this channel, that I can see us receiving our next round of stimulus checks in mid or late October. Well, this news today definitely lines up with my timeline. Comment down below if you actually agree with me on that. Steve Mnuchin met with the Senate Banking Committee on Thursday to discuss the needs and wants of the next stimulus relief bill. Mnuchin stated that if the Democrats are willing to sit down, I'm willing to sit down anytime for bipartisan legislation. Let's go ahead and pass something quickly. Mnuchin has stated how he has spoken with Nancy Pelosi on multiple occasions this week alone, and how they have had great discussions about averting the government shutdown. And since then, they are now ready to open the door and resume negotiations on another stimulus package that would include another round of stimulus checks for the American people who need it the most. And Pelosi responded back that they are ready as well to start negotiating and that she is talking with her caucus and leadership to determine what the next steps are. So, hey guys, this is really looking positive as we close out the month of September. Stay with me, okay? Fed Chairman Jerome Powell explained to the Banking Committee how they still have hundreds and billions of dollars in unused funds from the $2.3 trillion package earlier this year. They said this money could be reallocated to help U.S. households and businesses. Powell also stated that they still have $200 billion for the Treasury to backstop central bank loans that was never used, and an additional $130 billion remaining from the PPP or Paycheck Protection Program to help small businesses. And also they have $75 billion that was allocated to the Fed's largely untapped Main Street lending program, which also remains unused. Powell stated that the focus is to reallocate those sums of money to where it can be better used. He said while households are spending what's left of their first stimulus checks and unemployment benefits, the risk is that they will go through that money and ultimately have to cut back on spending or even lose their home or their lease. He said that that is the downside risk of no further action. We don't see much of that happening yet, but it could well be out there in the not so distant future. And then earlier this week, the House voted and passed on the stopgap funding bill that could prevent a government shutdown as the deadline inches closer. The government may be unable to cover certain obligations if they are unable to extend funding for the government to stay open. This temporary bill will give lawmakers time to digest the election and decide whether to pass the annual government funding bills to the next administration or not. The United States government year-end budget ends September the 30th, and the Senate is expected to vote on this bill sometime today. So, tell me guys, are you excited as I am about the negotiation talks that are about to restart once again? Do you think Congress will be able to get a bill passed by the end of October? Let me know your thoughts down below. I would love to get your feedback. Well, that's all I have for you today. Now, if you could do me a huge favor, if you found value in this video, be sure to give it a like. It takes me a lot of time to research this information and create these videos to share with you. Also, be sure to subscribe to the channel. It's totally free. Other than that, hey, I appreciate you guys stopping by and watching, and I hope to see you on the next video. Peace.